Hey everybody, I am here today to talk a little bit about resistance. And I wanted to talk about this because I think it's something that a lot of us deal with on a pretty regular basis, maybe even day-to-day basis. It's certainly something that I talk to people about a lot in my work, whether it's people when they're trying to just take better care of themselves or take care of their health, or to do things differently in their business or in their day-to-day work. And I think it's something that we all deal with. So first of all, when I say resistance, what I mean is that feeling we get when we know we have something we're supposed to do, something different, some change we're supposed to make, or some new routine, new activity, or just something that we're supposed to try to do that we are, for whatever reason, just like not able to push ourselves into it. And I think so, whether that's like eating differently or exercising differently or or changing your work, quitting your job and finding a new one, or following your dreams, starting your own business, taking better care of your health in any number of ways. We all get this resistance that comes up that often keeps us from doing this thing. So my understanding around resistance is, first of all, that it's a human thing and that we all deal with it. It comes and goes all the time, and so it's totally normal, first of all. But I think a lot of it comes from fear, whether we're afraid that we're not going to be able to follow through. It's like if I had this idea that I'm going to change the way I eat, maybe my fear is that I'll be able to do it for like a week and then I'll fall back on it and I won't be able to keep up with it. Or, somewhere down the road, someone's going to offer me a cheeseburger and I won't be able to say no. Or whatever, or maybe I'm afraid that it's not going to be as good as I thought. So maybe I'm planning to start some new exercise routine, and I'm hoping that it's going to make me feel better in my body, feel better about my self-confidence or something. And I'm afraid that what if it doesn't? What if I put in all this energy and all this effort and then it doesn't help me? Or what if I'm planning to, quit my job and start my own business, and what if it doesn't work out, right? So like some of these fears that we have that come up in the form of resistance are actually not unreasonable, like it's not all just these like crazy nonsense ideas that keep us from doing the things we mean to be doing, the things that we think are the right thing to do. Sometimes it's reasonable fears. So I think that's all the more reason that we actually think this through and we get in touch with resistance. We get to know it. We get comfortable with it so that we can work through it and we don't just stay in that crazy limbo state where we have this whole list of stuff we'd love to try and implement in our lives, but we can't because we just feel stuck around it, right? So I have like a 4-step process to moving through resistance, and I just thought I'd share it with you guys today. So step number 1 is to accept it and surrender it. Okay, so just acknowledging, like, I have this thing I want to do. I have this new activity that I want to implement in my life, or this new change that I want to make. And I'm just accepting it and surrendering to it, that I am in resistance, that I can't do it, won't do it, don't want to do it right now. Just be there. Acknowledge that. And then identify it. Because I'm afraid that if I give up this lifestyle, if I stop doing drugs or if I stop drinking, that the people around me won't like what I'm doing, that they won't like this new change in me. They won't like the way that changes our relationship. Or I'm afraid that, if that I try this new thing and maybe it feels really good for a while, but what if the good doesn't last? And what am I going to do then, right? And so what if I've tried all these things and nothing works? So just identifying it, noting what it is that's keeping you from making the change that you need to make. And And so once you identify it and you just get comfortable with that, acknowledge it, accept it for what it is, because you're never going to move through it until you figure out what it is that's standing in your way. So you just acknowledge it. And then step number 2 is I want you to revisit your why. And your why is the reason that you came up with this new activity, this new change in your life, this new lifestyle you want to have. Revisit the reason that you came up with it in the first place. So is it because you want to take better care of your family? Is it because you want to be in better health? Is it because you want to, save yourself from whatever trajectory you see yourself going on right now? Is it because you want to inspire other people? Is it because you think you have something to offer to the world and like you're right now, what you're doing is not getting you in that direction? Figuring out what your reason was and just getting back in touch with that. Spend some time like really thinking that through. Right? And then seeing how that resistance and that fear or whatever it is that was getting in your way, look at how that's standing in the way of whatever that goal was, whatever your why is, your reason. Okay. And when you revisit your why, you then want to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth it for me to be at risk of this thing not working out, or me not following through, or whatever the fear was? Is it worth it to me to face that for the opportunity that I might be able to achieve that why? Is it worth it for me to face this risk in order for the opportunity to come that I might be able to take better care of my family, that I might be able to offer this help to people all over the world, that I might be able to live a better life, be healthy, be happy, be joyful? Is it worth it? And if it's not, then stop right there. Because you need to like fully revisit your why or get some more stuff out of your way, and then you'll be able to move through resistance. But until your reason for doing things is worth it to take risk, then before then you're not going to be able to do it. Or you might, I don't know, but it's not going to be as easy. So 1 was acknowledging, accepting, and surrendering to resistance. 2 is revisiting your why and making sure that it's worth it to do the thing that you're trying to do. Number 3 is to plan for success but prepare for failure. So you absolutely want to stay focused on your why, focus on that vision of the future, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, and believe fully and wholeheartedly, suspend all disbelief so that you can just trust that that's going to work out for you, right? Stay in that as much as you can. At the same time, however, you also want to prepare yourself for what happens if it doesn't work out the way that I planned, or what happens if I have a bad day, or I slip up. I make this plan for myself that I'm going to do something every day for the rest of my life, and then what happens that one day when I don't do it, or I take the cheeseburger, or whatever it is that might trip you up. Because if you don't think ahead about how you're going to respond to yourself when that happens, then it's much more likely to like really throw you off course. But if you can think ahead and say, you know what, there are probably going to be really tough times where I might not be able to follow through. I might not be able to do this every single day for the rest of my life, or whatever. I might not believe in myself every day. So what am I going to do? And really put a plan in place so that when that day comes, you remember, oh, okay, wait, I knew this was going to happen. I knew I was going to have rough days. I knew obstacles were going to come up and get in my way. And my plan was to take a day off, or take 3 deep breaths and then remember my why. Or go talk to so-and-so, that person who I have identified as a really supportive, powerful person in my life, who does believe in me 100% and will support me on the days when I don't really believe in myself or I'm having a hard time, right? So put a plan in place to cover yourself for whenever you have failures or obstacles that get in your way. And then step number 4 is to push yourself, because ultimately you can stand on that precipice, on that edge of resistance for the rest of your life. I mean, some people literally think about where they want to be, think about this other future, this other potential life that they could have, or this goal or this vision, all these things, these potential futures, for the rest of their life, and they don't necessarily act on it. And so ultimately at that moment, once you have acknowledged your resistance, you accepted it, surrendered to it, and you have revisited your why, you know why you want to move forward and step over that edge into the next phase, you know why you want to get into that next beautiful place in your life, and then you have planned for success, you believe in your outcome, you've prepared yourself for failures, you know what you're going to do when things get hard, then all you have left to do is push yourself. And so some people find really helpful in this moment is to use something they call the 3-second rule. And what you do is you just count to 3 in your own mind. And so some people include like a punishment reward system kind of thing, where if I get to 3 and I don't and I haven't done the thing yet, then I have to like, do some other thing, I have to do 10 push-ups or whatever it is. But for some people it works enough just to like get centered in your brain to be like, all right, at the count of 3, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go, make that salad, or I'm going to get up and I'm going to go talk to my boss, or whatever. I'm going to go talk to my partner about this plan that I'm going to make for my new lifestyle, right? Whatever it is, count to 3 in your own mind, and when you get to 3, 1, 2, 3, then you go and you do it. And so whatever it is, whatever tools you can use to get to that place and push yourself to do the thing that you need to do, however you need to do that is fine. But I just think that's such an important part of the process, is like knowing that at the end of the day, you are going to get to these moments where you're literally like sitting in your chair and you're like, I should really go research that thing, or I should really pick up that book, or I should really, call that person. I should really, whatever. And you could literally sit there so long thinking that you won't do it. And then something else will come up and you'll have to go do that and you'll have missed it again. And so you really do have to just push yourself. So I hope this was helpful. One more time, I'm going to give it to you. My 4 steps is 1, to accept and surrender to your resistance, to identify it and just acknowledge it, that it's there, and to understand what it is that you're afraid of, what it is that's stopping you from doing the thing that you need to do next. 2 is revisiting your why, understanding your reason for doing these things, and then denying anything that's going to get in your way if it's worth it to you to do the thing, to get to that why, to get to that future, right? And then number 3, plan for success, but prepare for failure. So believe in yourself, believe that it's possible, know that reason, that why, is enough to push you there, but prepare yourself for when things get hard, prepare yourself for the bad days, and get support in place for that. And then number 4 is push yourself. Just get up and do it. Go do it. So what can you do right now that is like one baby step for the thing that you're trying to achieve, right? The more you break it down, the easier it is. So I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I would love to hear about your experiences with resistance, because I do think it's something that we all deal with in a lot of different areas of our life. And as always, let me know if you have any questions or things you'd like me to talk about on here. All right, bye guys.